All right, back in this country, for those not having a difficult time with the commute, particularly in the New York City area, African-American leaders and activists are in that city this weekend to address the biggest issues impacting so many lives. The National Action Network, an organization founded by the Reverend Al Sharpton, is hosting this 4-day event. CNN's Susan Candiotti is there. So, Susan, give me an idea. The organizers say this meeting is more than just talk. What happens after the 4 days of talking?
Sure, Frederica, because in years past, you and I, probably most of our viewers, have gone to conferences in the past or seminars. You go there, you listen to lively, great debate, and you say, okay, that's just wonderful. And then you meet again next year. What's different this time is that the National Action Network wants everyone to set a goal for themselves. And then the moderator and the host, for example, in this case, CNN contributor Roland Martin and Tom Joyner on his radio show, they're going to check in every 3 months or so, every 90 days or so, to see whether people are keeping up with specific goals that will be made here. Joining us, 2 guests to talk about some of those goals. First of all, we have Dr. Lenora Fulani. And you're here to talk about specifically one thing you've been working towards is trying to see how independent registered voters who are registered independents will be able to vote in party primaries. It's usually not allowed in states. How do you hope to turn that around in order to more empower people?
My goal as one of the founders of the Independence Party is to pass over the next 12 months nonpartisan election reform in New York City, which does away with party primaries and allows the 1 million voters in the city who are registered as independents to be able to vote in a first round, and that would take care of it. The majority.
This happens in a lot of different states, but why do you think you'll be able to come close to achieving that? That's a tough barrier that you have to get across.
Most of the cities in this country have nonpartisan elections, and the majority of those young people locked out independents are people of color. 20% African American, 11% Asian, 24% Latino, and 25% under the ages of 30. What our young people are saying to us is we don't want to be in a party, we are independents, and we want to do politics in a new way, and we have to support that effort, and that's what we're fighting for here in New York City.
Dr. Fulani, thank you very much. Mayor Nutter, what do you make of this conference and trying to set goals, unlike past conferences?
Well, goal setting, of course, is very, very important. It's what we do every day in local government. That's why I'm so focused on anti-truancy efforts as well as literacy programs in our city. Every day, upwards of 15,000 young people are out of school, half of whom have no legitimate reason. We can't teach children if they're not in school.
And what do you hope to accomplish in the coming, let's say, 3 months if they check back and say, all right, what have you done, Mayor Nutter?
In the next 12 months, because school will be going out very shortly, we're looking for at least a 25% reduction in the number of young people out of school on a daily basis for no reason. Kids have to go to school. We need to get the children and their parents focused on their education. We can't teach them if they're not in the classroom.
All right, Mayor Nutter, thank you very much for joining us. Dr. Fulani also. Again, one of the themes this year is to meet, to motivate, and then to act. Let's see if they can accomplish that in the coming year. Fred?
All right, Susan Candiotti, thanks so much. We'll continue to join that setting throughout this hour. We understand that Congressman James Clyburn is among those who are going to be speaking. In fact, there's a shot of him right now. And we'll try to dip in from time to time to see exactly what people are talking about and what they're promising and how the follow-up will then happen. Actually, we're going to listen right now to the Congressman.
Community colleges, because we believe that if you are a lawyer, you need a plumber. If you are a plumber, you need a doctor. If you're a doctor, you need an electrician. So we got to start focusing on where people's skills are, and it's in this bill.
Literally 15 seconds.
I ain't talking about give me 30.
No, you got 15. You got 15.
If gay and lesbian people yesterday found out that, or the president argued that they should be able to visit their people who are in the hospitals if they're not technically related to them. I'm saying that with Congressman Clyburn, if we don't know the money is there, if it's not earmarked, if we can't publicly articulate it, the people who need to get the money, who don't know that the money has been targeted toward them, won't be able to go there. So we have to come out the closet of race, talk specifically about targeting black communities so that the upward mobility that we imagine with these policies can be catalyzed. I think we have to be more explicit about it if they've already done it.
$10 billion, y'all.
Real quick. Faye, real quick.
You cannot separate education and economics. That's the problem. This is a holistic approach. Our people are miseducated not to vote in their self-interest. Specifically, we have to stop the miseducation of our children in school. There is no achievement gap. There is an excess opportunity gap, and we have to put our history, and my specific is this. The museum has started what we call the Rising Network. We will start anti-fear study groups. Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. We will start them in the church and communities. So at the grassroots level, our people will understand their history of greatness and that we have been deceived into believing that our enemies are our friends.
Okay,
when
so
we
folks,
do that, they will vote in their best interest.
So let me say this here. And Leslie, I'll be speaking for you right here.
Okay, so you're just getting a sneak peek of the dialogue that's taking place during this 4-day event in New York City. This is being hosted by the National Action Network, founded by the Reverend Al Sharpton. You saw him there. There's CNN contributor Roland Martin, who is moderating this forum. A host of people, NAACP's Ben Jealous there. You saw Congressman James Clyburn as well, and even author Eric Michael Dyson. They're all talking there about everything from economics to education, and the idea is for a year, a commitment will be made, some solutions coming out of this conference, and for an entire year, people will be monitored to see how well they're living up to some of these promises. We're going to continue to dip in throughout the afternoon. And then in the 2 o'clock Eastern hour, CNN contributor Roland Martin will be actually joining us to talk a little bit more concretely about what kind of resolutions are actually coming from this forum today and over the next 4 days.